Nghe rõ không?
Recording in progress.
Mình sẽ hỏi xem Achan đã vào chưa. Hiện giờ vẫn chưa thấy ông bà Jonsara vào ạ. Sadika Achan ka, are you there?
Yes, Radhika, everyone.
Sadika Achan. Today we have a monthly discussion in Saigon, in Dhamma Home in Saigon, Vietnam Dhamma Home in Saigon. So I still don't see Sarah and John. They are not coming. Can we start now, Achan?
Yes, please.
Vâng, kính thưa các anh, các chị, các cô, các anh chị. Chiều nay mình bắt đầu với buổi pháp đàm cùng Achan. Sáng nay thì mọi người cũng có đưa ra một vài chủ đề để có thể đưa ra và hỏi Achan chiều nay. Không biết là có các anh, cô, các anh chị mình có muốn đưa ra cái chủ đề nào nổi bật để hỏi Achan không ạ?
Alo. Dạ, con thấy là cái thắc mắc lại cái vấn đề mà hồi sáng mình bàn cãi về vấn đề là cái hiểu và cái kiến thức á, tích lũy về cái hiểu và kiến thức cũng như của chị Mai, cái ý đó em thấy cũng hay. Nhưng mình cần không phải không phải là cái gì mình cần được nhắc đi nhắc lại nhiều lần đó chị, thì nó rất là lợi lạc. Tại vì em thì em không có, em chưa có cập nhật được cái đó, nhưng mà em thấy cái thắc mắc của chị rất là đáng để suy xét. Dạ. Không phải, nó không phải cái guồng.
Dear Chan, we have a Miss Mai, our friend here. She very appreciate what Achan said in the discussion in India, when Thanachan mentioned about before the seeing, there's no seeing, and at the moment of seeing, only seeing there, and after seeing arise and falling away, there's no seeing anymore. So she very happy because she understand that Achan mentioned about the chitta before seeing, and after seeing, no, the chitta is not seeing. So she said that because of she has knowledge about the process, the chitta in process, so she is very happy to know that, and she think that the knowledge about the chitta and process is very necessary for studying Dhamma. So we have a discuss about this term this morning, and we'd like to hear more about you, your comment about this. Is this a real necessary for understand reality now, or is it just knowledge only and it's not help anymore?
What we are talking about is to understand what is there now, which appears all the time, all day, different moments, different realities. But there is no idea about the truth of it, because usually in a day it seems like someone and something all the time, but reality does not appear as it is. Begin to understand. We are in the world of fantasy, dreaming world, dream world about what is there as something, but in truth, just one reality cannot be anything at all. It has to be what it is, conditioned to arise to be only that and then gone instantly. Is that true?
Vâng ạ. Dạ đúng như
Are
vậy
we
ạ.
talking?
Yes, Ajahn.
Yeah, are we talking about what is there now? One characteristic at a time, to know that it's there by conditions, just to be there and then gone. Just have confidence of the truth little by little, to understand whatever is there is conditioned. No one can make anything arise at all because it has arisen already. Is it true? Just listen to understand what is the truth of what is there now appearing. That which experience the object is there, sees, hears, smell, taste, touch, and think. In a day, each day, not different from this moment, seeing, hearing, smelling, and so on. Just learn to understand what Buddha enlightened, what is the ultimate truth of this very moment. It's not just one moment, because so many moments of seeing different things right now. So learn to understand what is what now in life. That's all. Little by little, developing understanding of the truth, so it can condition moment of attending to a characteristic of a reality right now or then anytime by conditions. Is this not the teaching of the Buddha about what is there now is conditioned, it's there and gone instantly? Is that true? So learn to understand what is there as it is. That's the way to let go the idea of something when it's nothing, not anything at all. So we can talk about what is there in life, to be reminded that it's there not anyone or anything, only that which is conditioned to appear to be object of seeing or hearing, that's all. Is it now? So what are there in a day? Many moments, different moments. It depends on what moment can be known by hearing again and again and again. About what is there is not known as long as there's not enough understanding of the truth of it. Does it cover the whole world, the whole day?
Pam, could you repeat the question at the start, because we missed the beginning because we didn't know the site had changed?
Yes, Sarah.
Could you repeat what it was?
Yeah, good afternoon,
We were trying
Sarah.
to phone Tam in Vietnam.
Yeah, sorry for technical issue.
Yeah. Next time, send a WhatsApp would be helpful. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Anyway, if you could just repeat the question, thank you.
Miss Mai, she mentioned that she was very appreciate what Achan mentioned about the moment before seeing and after seeing, because she knows the chitta and process before, so she understood what Achan mentioned about. But we discussed that is the knowledge, and if study the knowledge, knowing the knowledge of the Dhamma terms in detail, is helpful for understanding reality now or not? It's just we discussed this morning, and we'd like to have your comment more to understand more. Thank you.
It's a good question, because when it is just book knowledge, just knowing the details, knowing about the terms, knowing about what follows the other, it's a little helpful, but much more helpful is understanding what appears now. And we learn about these details just for that purpose, to understand that what appears now is so brief and gone instantly, to show it's just a Dhamma, not something or someone, and not in anyone's control at all. Just has to arise after the chitta before and before the next one. Just an ordinary chitta of no significance, no great importance. Usually we think the seeing is so important, but it's just one moment of vipaka following the chitta before the next vipaka chitta, gone instantly, not belonging to anyone and not in anyone's control at all. So we have to, when we look at details, have to remember the purposes, not for the sake of learning more names, more terms, more theoretical knowledge, but whatever we study is just for the purpose of understanding more about what appears now, what can be known now.
And we
Thank you, Sarah, for your good comment.
Thưa bà.
I'd just like to add a quick word. We have learned that only what appears can be the object of direct understanding. So if we are talking about realities which do not appear and are unlikely to ever appear, then obviously coming to understand more about them in theory is not going to be a condition for direct awareness and understanding. And as a general rule, there should not be the expectation that a particular reality will be the object of direct understanding. It's beyond our ability to predict how understanding will develop and what will be the object. So the moment before seeing, for example, and the moment after seeing are probably in the category of realities that will not be the object of direct understanding. Even seeing, the moment of seeing itself, how often does that appear to be understood? So we can imagine that the sense door experiences, the moments of sense door experiencing are among those realities that may well appear, but not the moment before or moment after. Nevertheless, it is helpful to have some kind of theoretical understanding of the processes and the order in which jittas arise in a process, for example, and that sort of thing. And the other comment I will make is that nothing can be understood if it has not first been the object of theoretical understanding. So that theoretical understanding plays a very important role for things that are likely to appear. But we should not therefore think that having theoretical understanding of all realities, every reality, is going to be a condition for that reality to be directly known.
Thank you, John.
Dạ con cảm ơn Ngài. Nhưng mà Ngài cũng vừa cho con biết rằng là cái tư duy nó vẫn là hỗ trợ cho cái hiểu biết thực tại à. Cái kiến thức tư duy nó vẫn hỗ trợ cho cái suy xét về thực tại à.
Thank you, John. But as my understanding is knowledge about the Dhamma, the terms is support and help us to understand reality now. Is it right?
As I said, there cannot be the understanding of reality without first having heard the teaching, and in particular the teaching about different realities, and so on and so forth. So hearing and considering carefully and at length is a prerequisite to the actual arising of awareness and understanding. But we can't say that every bit of knowledge, book knowledge or theoretical knowledge, will itself be a condition for awareness and understanding. But it all helps, generally. As I said, the important thing is not to have any expectation as to what will be the object of awareness and direct understanding if and when it arises.
Dạ, con cảm ơn ạ.
Thank you. It's clear now. Thank you.
And it's not
Vậy là các cái khoảnh khắc mà được tìm hiểu thì nó phải là ngay tại đây, đúng không ạ? Vậy các cái tính chất phải tìm hiểu ngay tại đây.
So the right understanding is to understand what is real now, right?
Là cái tính chất.
Only what is real and what appears can be.
It understand the characteristic of the reality now.
What understanding understands is the characteristic of a reality. If it arises, that's what it understands. But it's not necessarily correct to say that having more theoretical understanding about an individual reality will be a condition for there to be direct understanding of that individual reality, because some realities are never going to appear anyway. And we should not have the idea that of accumulating theoretical understanding of different realities in order to have more awareness and understanding of them, because that is following a practice, that is doing something with the idea of conditioning understanding to arise by focusing on a better theoretical understanding of certain realities, that will condition the arising of awareness and understanding of those realities. That is not the correct approach. So we don't have to target different realities either in our thinking, considering, or idea of having awareness. The motivation for the intellectual study should be an interest in the teachings generally. Of course, we all want to have, we would like to have a better understanding, but that cannot be made to happen by a certain kind of intellectual study, even the study of the teachings. So we need to be a bit relaxed about our idea of the intellectual study. Any aspect of the Buddha's teaching about the way things are is helpful. But awareness and understanding can arise without thinking about a particular reality and its intellectual properties. So there's no direct connection between that intellectual study, theoretical study, and the arising of awareness and understanding. The timing of the awareness and the object of the awareness is completely out of our control. So there's no point in having ideas about influencing that side of things.
Dạ, con xin cảm ơn cái câu chia sẻ của Ngài là tìm cách ảnh hưởng, giống như là mình tìm một cái công thức á, thì cái đó là một cái điều sai. Con xin cảm ơn.
I'm very appreciate your sharing about the finding a method to have the awareness and understanding to arise. Yes. Thank you, John. It's clear.
And I just wanted to emphasize one point when there was mention about knowledge of the terms and the details. It's not the words and of the terms and the details that is going to help. We have to use words like now in order to communicate, but it's just for the sake of understanding the Dhammas that the words represent. For example, we learn after seeing the two more cheetahs, which are also the result of karma, whether we use the words sampatichana and santirana or some other translations in our own language, it doesn't really matter. The point is just to understand that karma brings it more results before there is the arising of wholesome or unwholesome cheetahs in that process in this idle process. So the words are just to point to the truth. That's all, not for just the sake of accumulating terms, knowledge of terms and details and theory. Otherwise, we end up thinking that the Abhidhamma expert is the one who knows all the details about all the terms and all the different conditions and all the theory in the texts, and they may be able to recite it all in Pali, But if there's no understanding of what appears now, it's of no value at all. So the words are just for the understanding of what life is at this very moment. Just for understanding that there are only dhammas now, seeing now, what is seen now, different truths that make up life from moment to moment.
Yes. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Good to see you all in the Dhamma home.
Achan would like to add more comment about this.
Yes, did Buddha just say about now, or what is there now? Only that, or much more than that? In Sutta and Abhidhamma and Vinaya, all about the truth of each moment. But if we just learn few words like reality is Dhamma and Rupa, what did Buddha say more than that in the book? Sutta, any sutta, or Abhidhamma, or Vinaya. So we learn about the very subtle reality from what he taught for 45 years, not just only no one and no thing, it's only that which experience the object and so on. That's not enough. That's why if we read and then discuss on the subject of what is said, what does it mean? It can condition more understanding of this moment. So what did Buddha say in Sutta? Any part or Abhidhamma, any book, can be studied in order to understand what is there now at this very moment. Otherwise, it's just no words of Buddha about what is there now. Because only it's a reality, it's that which arises and experiences the object, and the object is experienced through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body and mind. Not enough at all. He taught for 45 years. So if we just read the sutta and understand the deep and subtle meaning more and more, it is so helpful not to forget about what is there now all the time, because the more understanding, the more reading, considering about the truth can condition moment of being interested in what Buddha said, more than just no one. It's there, right? So if we read some part of the sutta or what is there, no matter what, where and what about, we can learn about the truth because it's there. Taught by Buddha in many aspects of just one reality. Otherwise, it's not the Buddha's word at all. It's just some word listened
Nhiều cái khác
from
nhau về một cái.
hearing, considering, very few. What did he say in 45 years can be studied because it's there right now, not one's own thought at all. Have you read any book, Sutta or Abhidhamma or Vinaya in a day, in a week, in a month? That's the way to listen to the teachings of the Buddha from reading. What did he say? Is there any word that you heard and would like to talk about? To know that it's the Buddha's word about now.
Em live show luôn.
Only one word can be discussed in order to really understand it. Not one's own thought, but consider the subtlety, the subtle reality, which is so subtle that even it's there now, it cannot be known as it is. That's why it needs more words from the Buddha to understand more about it in order to let go ignorance of what is there. Even if there is not known as it is. For example, attachment is there all day. It's no one's attachment at all. Different levels, different degrees, through different ways. To be reminded what is there which is not known in the day. Any word would you like to talk about? Khun Han?
We'd like to know more about the understanding panya and sanya, because we know that they are different dhamma, but it seems like we mix up these two words.
And what did Buddha say about panya and sanya? Or more words from the book dealing with panya and sanya?
Dạ thưa bà, là về tưởng thì nó là khoảnh khắc đánh dấu, ghi dấu lại những khoảnh khắc mà những cái tính chất ngay tại đó. Còn trí thì nó hiểu về nó hiểu về các thực tại ạ.
Sanya, as I know that sanya is a mark and remember the object, and panya is know the object clearly.
Is it there now?
Dạ thưa không ạ.
Is it experience? Is it
no,
an object?
Dạ. Tại mình đâu được biết đâu.
What does it experience now?
Dạ nó kinh nghiệm âm thanh.
It knows sound, Ajahn.
So it experiences sound too, right?
Tưởng kinh nghiệm.
Dạ
phải.
Yes.
So in what way?
Kinh nghiệm theo cách nào? Dạ nó chỉ kinh nghiệm theo cái mà được nghe thôi, còn cái mà nó đang kinh nghiệm thì nó chỉ là cái bóng ảnh thôi ạ.
It's moment. Yes, go on.
It seems like it's heard. The sound is heard, and it's but because the sound is already gone, so it's experience the nimitta of sound.
So now at moment of seeing, does sanya experience an object? At
Dạ,
moment of
con không được biết ạ.
Sorry, I don't know, Ajahn.
At moment of seeing, does sanya arise to remember that which is seen?
Dạ, thưa không ạ.
No, Ajahn.
Nó khoảnh khắc sau.
At
I
moment
think
of
it's the next moment.
see, we have to consider carefully. Citta arises and experience an object. So now seeing is a citta, a moment of experiencing what is seen, right? And it is citta which is the chief of experiencing, the characteristic of that which is seen only. Does sanya arise with citta, which sees?
Sorry, I don't know.
That's why we have to learn about there is not only citta which arises and experiences the object, because citta itself cannot arise alone. There must be conditions for its arising. They arise together, condition each reality by different function and different characteristics. That's why learn from now that citta does not arise alone. It has to arise with its conditions, sahachata, arising together, condition each other to arise and perform its functions. That's why at moment of seeing in a day, there is the remembering of what is seen. Like, right? Is it right? It remembers what is seen. So sanya arises together with seeing. Each moment of citta arises, experiences the object. Sanya is there. And other cetasikas are there too, by conditions. This is the way to learn to understand what is meant by Dhamma, because each different reality is conditioned for the other to arise together. So we learn little by little what is there. Citta is there, because it's the reality which experiences the object only, the chief of experience, the characteristic of the object clearly. But at moment of remembering what is seen, there must be the reality which is not citta, but it is cetasika, arising together, experience the same object, because not citta only which experience the object, cetasikas are the realities which arise and experience the object together with citta, together, never arise alone. So at moment of seeing right now, who knows that there is sanya, if Buddha didn't tell us that it's not only citta, but there is a reality which marks and remember the object which is seen. It shares the same object. It does not perform the function of seeing, but it experiences the object with memory, or remember what the object is. Learn to understand the realities which cannot be taken for anything at all. Anything else, it's only sanya is sanya, and citta is citta. So learn little by little to understand what is there. There is sanya, which marks and remembers the object. It experiences the object, but it does not see, because it performs a function of marking or remembering the object, the characteristic of the object. Only that. Each reality has its own characteristic and its own function. Then little by little to understand the truth, which cannot be changed. So in a day, there must be a moment of remember what is there appearing together with the moment of experiencing that object. But different reality, different function, they arise together. That's why they experience the same object, but by different characteristic and different function. It doesn't mean that sanya does not experience the object. It experiences the object by way of marking or remembering the object. So we learn to understand what is there as citta and cetasikas, one by one, little by little. This is the way to begin to let go the idea of self, because citta is citta. It cannot be anything else. It cannot be cetasika. It cannot mark or remember anything. It just arises to experience as a chief of experiencing the characteristic of the object clearly. Only that. So now, what is seen, is it clear?
Dạ thưa bà, thì có phải là khi mà cái thấy sinh khởi thì nó có một cái tính chất tưởng đánh dấu mà nó là kinh nghiệm về cái thấy, cũng như là khi mà cái nghe sinh khởi thì nó cũng có tính chất tưởng sanh khởi cùng với cái nghe để kinh nghiệm cái nghe, và hai cái tính chất tưởng đó nó cũng là đánh dấu, nhưng mà đánh dấu theo cái đối tượng của tâm đó, không phải không ạ?
Thank you, Achan. As my understanding is, the moment of seeing, the sanya is there also, and is mark and remember the object, the visible object. And the same as the moment of hearing, sanya is there to mark and remember the sound, the object of the hearing. Is it right?
Every moment. So at the moment of seeing, the sanya marks, remembers what is seen, moment of hearing, moment of thinking, moment of wholesomeness, like the moment of kindness, moment of unwholesomeness, for example, the moment of anger, moments in deep sleep. Every moment in life, sanya arises, marking what is experienced, so that is the reason why afterwards there is thinking about different objects that are seen, different objects that are heard. If there was no sanya arising at those moments of seeing and hearing, the object couldn't be remembered. We wouldn't know this is red, this is green, this is this person, this is that person. So at every moment in life, result of karma, kusala, akusala, sanya has to rise and mark and remember. This is why a baby can soon remember, this is mommy, this is daddy, because sanya is arising at those moments of seeing and hearing, and also at the moments of thinking afterwards, moments of clinging, moments of unhappiness. Sanya is marking and remembering whatever is experienced. But this is not true of panya. Panya cannot arise with seeing or hearing. Only 7 cetasikas arise at those moments. Nothing is understood at all. The visible object is seen, but nothing is understood about it. Just it is experienced by the citta, remembered by sanya. There is neutral feeling at that moment. Other cetasikas arising, performing their functions, but nothing understood. At moments of attachment or aversion, no understanding at those moments because ignorance is there. At moments of kusala, like moments of generosity and kindness, usually they just arise by habit, like friends and family have many, many moments of kindness, many moments of generosity, but usually no understanding at those moments. It's just the wholesome habit of giving or being kind. So panya only arises with those wholesome moments when there is understanding of the object, the reality that is experienced, for example. So sanya arises every moment, but it doesn't understand anything. Understanding only arises occasionally with certain kinds of sobana, beautiful citas. And only at those moments is there understanding. So even now, during a Dhamma discussion, there are so many moments of seeing and hearing, so many moments of thinking, so many moments of ignorance and attachment. No understanding at those moments, but at moments of wise considering now, reflecting on what is the truth now in a wholesome way, at those moments, panya arises. But it's just for a moment and then gone. We cannot say because we've listened to the Zoom for an hour, there's an hour of understanding. It's only ever just for a moment and then gone. So we just learn a little more about these details, just to understand more about the nature of what sanya is, what panya is, not for the sake of learning the terms, but to understand that they are different dhammas, different functions, different characteristics. Not my memory or my lack of memory, not my understanding or lack of understanding at all. And when we learn that sanya arises at every moment, we can appreciate that even when conventionally we think our memory is poor, or we think some family members are losing their memory, but actually there is memory at each moment, but not always marking and remembering what we would like it to mark and remember. So now, is there memory, is there sanya at this moment of seeing now?
Dạ thưa bà là có ạ.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. What about at this moment of hearing? Is there sanya at this moment of hearing?
Dạ có ạ.
Yes, it is.
What about at this moment of thinking? Thinking about what we're talking about. Is there sanya at these moments of thinking?
Dạ vẫn có ạ.
Yes, it is.
And what about panya at the moment of seeing now? Is there panya?
Dạ chưa ạ. Dạ không ạ.
No, I don't think it's there.
No, I don't think, cannot be, cannot arise at the moment of seeing. What about at the moment of hearing? Can panya arise at the moment of hearing?
Dạ không ạ.
No.
What about if the Buddha was here and we're talking about the Buddha's seeing now? Can panya arise with the Buddha's seeing?
Dạ có.
I think yes.
Impossible, no exception, cannot.
Yes,
So
yes.
even in the case of the Buddha or the Arahat, panya cannot arise with every citta. No akusala citta, so that no question, but on moments of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, panya never arises, no matter we're talking about this one or that one or the Buddha or anyone. They're
Yes.
vipaka cittas, which are rootless, no wholesome roots, so panya cannot arise. No aloba, no adosa, no amoha, no wholesome roots, so panya cannot arise. So
Yes.
gradually so this is why when someone thinks, oh, the Buddha has panya all the time, metta all the time, or we think that this teacher has metta all the time, we learn this is not correct, because nothing is all the time. Whatever arises is just for a moment. So panya can only arise at moments of sobana chitta, another word which means beautiful, when there are wholesome roots. So we learn a little more not to collect theory and details, but to understand a little more about the nature of panya, a little more about the nature of sanya, to appreciate it's just a Dhamma that arises at particular times by particular conditions, performs its function of penetrating the truth, understanding, and then falls away instantly, cannot last at all. So we cling to understanding as so important, but actually when the understanding arises, it doesn't belong to you or me or the Buddha or anyone, and it's gone instantly. Nothing to be clung to at all. And even that Dhamma is dukkha, because it is conditioned, impermanent, unsatisfactory. It doesn't last. So we're talking about life now. So moments of understanding now when reflecting wisely, but just for a moment, not my understanding at all. And no matter whether we call it panya or samadhi or any other term, vijja, it's just for the point, the purpose of understanding a little more about that reality itself.
Thank you, Sarah. Nói tiếng Anh. Dạ. Tại vì con thấy rằng là cái tưởng để mà nó đánh dấu những cái kiến thức á, cái tưởng mà để đánh dấu những kiến thức nó khác với cái hiểu của cái thực tại ngay tại đây à. Thành ra là con muốn để phân biệt giữa hai cái đó.
So I think the sanya, mark and remember, the term and the knowledge is different with the characteristics of the reality now. So I'd like to understand more about this.
What do you mean by knowledge? What is knowledge?
Ví dụ như nói về cái thấy hoặc cái nghe thì hầu như là con chỉ nói về kiến thức chứ con không hiểu về các cái thực tại của nó ngay tại đây.
For example, the seeing and hearing now it seems as knowledge, the terms, because it's not appearing now.
So what you're saying that it's just
Theory.
like a theory. Okay, so it's theory. So we talk about sanya, we talk about panya, we talk about seeing, we talk about hearing. So it can be theory or knowledge with a little intellectual understanding. We call it pariyatti understanding, or with no knowledge, no understanding at all. For example, we can read about the details in the book, but it may be like we read about the details in a science book or a cookery book. So if there is no understanding, then it's just book knowledge, but not the beginning of panya. So in order for it to be panya or pariyatti understanding, right intellectual understanding, it's more than just theory or details or names or terms in the book. There has to be the beginning of understanding a little bit more about that Dhamma as a reality, as not self at all. For example, now there is seeing. Is there any understanding of seeing, or is it just a word or a term? And what is seen now, the visible object, the sight that is seen now, is it just a word in the book, or is there a little understanding that what is seen is just what is visible now, not a person, not a thing? When it's the beginning of wise considering and understanding that it's true, that actually no one is seen, just what is visible at this moment, it is the beginning of developing understanding about the truth of what is seen, the truth of the seeing of it. So one can open a book on Ācariya and read through all the terms and the details, but if there is no understanding, one loses interest and then turns to another book of another subject. It just becomes another subject, like a different subject we learn in school. Only when it is the understanding that begins to develop and there is the appreciation of the real benefit of understanding about the truth now, not just something in the book. Only then is it a little more than just book knowledge. And only Panya can know at this moment whether it is understanding and wise considering about these details like what we've just heard about Sanya or Panya, or whether it's just book knowledge detail. Even thinking about it now or doubt now, even the doubt now can be understood. The thinking can be understood because these are dhammas as well. So the purpose is for understanding what is true, what can be known now. For example, doubt now, it has its characteristic, the uncertainty. So it's not just a term, a word in the book, but it's the reality now, the unsure, unsureness, the lack of clarity, the thinking, is this right? Isn't it right? Even that characteristic can be understood as a Dhamma, not my doubt. And gradually there can be a little more understanding, and it brings a little more confidence that what we hear is true, that these are just different dhammas arising and falling away, not belonging to anyone, not belonging to the Buddha, not belonging to you, not belonging to me, just dhammas. No self to be found, no thing to be found. For example, looking at the flowers on the table where you're sitting, actually it's just the visible object that's seen, but so quickly there's an idea of pink flowers. We take it for pink flowers. Understanding doesn't mean that we cannot think about pink flowers, but no doubt that actually it's only what is visible that is seen, and it's thinking that thinks about pink or white flowers because of sanya, having marked and remembered this one is pink, this one is white, this is a flower, and so on. Without sanya, there couldn't be thinking about the flowers at all.
Thank you, Sarah. It's very helpful.
Dạ, thưa cô Sarah, như vậy thì cái thước đo mà thật sự về cái hiểu và về tư duy mà cô Sarah mới vừa nói, với lại so với lại cái hiểu mà sách vở kiến thức, thì trong sách vở nó cũng ghi những cái lời giống như cô Sarah mới vừa nói, thì cái thước đo thật sự của cái hiểu là nó nằm ở chỗ nào?
I'd like to have a question about the theoretical understanding about reality now, and the terms and knowledge, the theory in the book. So same thing.
So I know that you have listened a lot, my friend, and considered a lot about the different terms, the different details, the different meanings. So when we hear so much about sanya or panya or seeing or hearing, are these just terms and details in the book, or are they what makes up life now? Are they the truth of life now? I think you can answer that question. For example, sound
nó là thực sự
now.
tạo nên cuộc sống này.
It's our life now.
It's life now. So the Buddha taught for so long to help us to understand more about life now. It's not enough just to hear that, oh, there is seeing and hearing. We have to hear more and more details, because the idea of self and the ignorance and the wrong view are so very deeply rooted. So unless we hear more details about different cheetahs, one following another, and sanya arising with these cheetahs, but not with all cheetahs, but panya only arising with some, unless we hear and consider more details, impossible to let go of the ignorance. But it's just about, whatever he taught is just about the truth now. Is it true that there is memory now? Is it true that understanding is just for a moment, but not all the time? Is it true that it's only hardness that is touched now? Only visible object that's seen now? So we have to hear and consider a lot, but it's just for the sake of understanding the truth at this very moment. No other reason for it. It's not to collect theory and details and names, which will all be forgotten at the end of this life.
Dạ con cảm ơn, con đã hiểu rồi.
Thank you, Sarah. I have a better understanding now.
Okay, I've just seen that Tam just put a note to say that the question is, there's a thin line between book knowledge and theoretical understanding. What is the mark of understanding them? So we can say that there can be book knowledge with or without understanding. But it's just for a moment. For example, we may read a sutta, and there may be moments of ignorance, moments of attachment, moments of understanding. So whatever we read, whatever we hear, whatever we study, even now, listening and discussing about dhammas, moments of just what you refer to as book knowledge, just collecting the details, okay, remembering that sanya arises with every cheetah, and moments of actually understanding a little bit more about the reality of sanya, a little bit more about the reality of what is seen now, not a flower, not red, not white, just what is visible. But no one can say, oh, this is book knowledge when he speaks, this is right understanding. Only Panya can know. So no need to think too much about it. No, if we try to pinpoint what is this now, it's more clinging to the self, trying to catch it, trying to know, trying to work out whether I have understanding or not. That is wrong understanding at those moments. So understanding has to just do its work gradually, naturally, so there's less doubt, more confidence in what is right understanding. Otherwise, it's always the idea of self, trying to catch it, trying to know, trying to work it out.
And I think this is a bit like asking about the difference between right attention and wrong attention, kusala manasikara and akusala manasikara. The difference can't be known, of course. But when we talk about book knowledge and reading the text with the right attention or motivation, whatever, we're talking about the difference between wise considering and regular unwise considering. But as Sarah has said, it's not important to know, because it's going to, for a given person, there can be wise considering one moment and then Ācariya the next. There's no way that a person can have just kusala all the time, even when reading or studying the teachings. But it helps to understand that there is a distinction, the one that you mentioned. It is a fine distinction, but it can't really be known at the moment. So that's something just to keep in mind. But we should not expect that there will be more kusala just because one is studying the teachings. Obviously, there could be, but it's the interest in coming to understand the true meaning of the Buddha's teaching that is the correct motivating factor. Not to have more understanding, not to be a better person, but having the interest in getting to the true meaning of what the Buddha was talking about. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, John.
And of course, I'll just add that this is something that can only happen gradually over a long period of time, because we only know a small part of the Buddha's teaching at any given time. And as the years go by, one acquires a wider understanding of the Buddha's teaching, how the different parts of it relate to each other. And we appreciate that the focus is not just on having more awareness and understanding on a daily basis. Yeah.
Thank you, John. So we also discussed, thank you, John, we also discussed about the studying Abhidhamma or studying the teaching is because the right understanding is very subtle and very deep and is at the one moment only. So we say that studying the Dhamma, yes, it's like it's a long story about this, and at the moment of no understanding is not the right, it's not the right way, or it's not the studying Dhamma. Can you have a further comment or explanation about this?
Really, I can only say
Sorry,
that
mình cũng quên mình không nói tiếng Việt. Tức là vừa rồi con cũng nó nói là chúng con cũng trao đổi về cái việc là học nghiên cứu giáo pháp thì cũng không phải là một quá trình dài, mà chỉ nó ở những cái khoảnh khắc của hiểu biết đúng về tính chất của pháp thôi, thì nhờ ông có thể chia sẻ thêm về điều này. Thank you, John. Please go ahead.
Well, only the individual can know whether they have at any given moment, whether there is an interest in having a better understanding of the true meaning of the Buddha's teaching as a whole. or whether they are more concerned with trying to have more understanding, or sometimes even it might be that one is studying Abhidhamma out of some idea that it has to be known, even though you don't have a particular interest in it. So it's something you're doing out of a sense of ought to be done sort of thing. So these are not the right reasons for the study. It won't, these are not moments of kusala attention, kusala interest in the teachings. But it's inevitable that because one's understanding is not very highly developed, it's inevitable that there'll be all these different kinds of motivation and ideas happening as one continues one's interest in the teachings.
And let's be clear that the studying Abhidhamma doesn't mean opening the book. It means the understanding, the study with understanding of the very subtle reality that appears now. So it's not study the Abhidhamma or the teaching. It is when studying the teaching, it is studying Abhidhamma, the Dhamma, the truth, which is very subtle and difficult to know, no matter whether one's reading a sutta or reading an Abhidhamma text or reading the Vinaya or even watching TV or talking to our friends at moments of understanding the subtle truth, the subtle reality as taught by the Buddha. It is the study of Abhidhamma. No difference from the study of the teaching now.
So some of us will, by accumulated tendencies, have more interest in studying the Abhidhamma as a one aspect of the teachings, while for others there may not really be that interest in what is seen as lists of names and things. That's not what the Abhidhamma is, of course, but I'm just trying to indicate that everyone is different in how their interest in the Dhamma has been developed and what they are naturally inclined towards, rather than something that is being done out of a sense of, well, I should be doing more of this or less of that, or I should be having more kusala, less akusala. These are all unhelpful ideas. So one follows one's interest. We're all here out of an interest in the Buddha's teaching. But for each of us, it's different.
Thank you, John. And Achan, would you like to have more comment about this?
Are we now studying Dhamma?
Dạ có ạ. Yes, I think so.
What Dhamma? And where's Dhamma?
Dạ, hiện tại đang có học Pháp và các cái Pháp ở đây ạ.
Dhamma is here now, Achan.
Really? What is
Dạ,
Dhamma?
là thật ạ.
Yes, it's real now.
What is Dhamma here and now?
Dạ, ở đây nó đang có suy nghĩ ạ.
It's thinking now.
Okay, what is it?
Nó nó đang ghi lại cái được nghe.
It's recognize what is hearing now.
Yes, we are study Dhamma, and hearing is Dhamma. What is the understanding of Dhamma from hearing and considering, talking about it? What is it? Hearing.
Bắt đầu khó. Dạ,
See?
cái nghe thì con được học là nó kinh nghiệm âm thanh nè.
The hearing, hear the sound, Ajahn.
Yes, but when we are thinking about hearing, is it real?
Dạ, trong cái thời điểm nghĩ về cái nghe thì lúc đó có suy nghĩ rồi, nhưng mà cái nghe lúc nó sanh khởi thì nó là thật. Trong Dạ, khoảnh khắc suy nghĩ về cái nghe là thật ạ.
The thinking is real, Ajahn.
So now hearing, is it real? Thinking is
Yeah.
real. Seeing
Yes.
is real.
Yes, it's real.
How much
Yeah.
understanding of seeing, hearing, and thinking?
Yeah.
Very little, Ajahn.
So what is the very little? Does hearing remember anything?
Dạ, nó chỉ biết là
Does
thưa
hearing
không ạ.
remember?
No, Ajahn.
What remember?
Dạ, tưởng à.
The sanya remember.
If we don't use the term sanya, what is it? Or when we use the word sanya, we understand the meaning of it.
Đánh dấu à. Bà hỏi à.
It's
Dạ là
sanya.
trong cái thời điểm cái nghe nó sinh khởi thì nó có một cái sự ghi dấu lại ở đó và nó được dùng là tưởng à.
It's arising with hearing to remember the object.
Is sanya the reality which is the chief of experiencing the object?
Không. Dạ không ạ.
No, Ajahn.
What is the chief of experiencing an object?
Tâm. Dạ là tâm ạ.
The chitta, Ajahn.
Chitta now experiences what?
Dạ hiện tại nó đang kinh nghiệm âm thanh ạ.
Now it's
At
experience
moment
the sound.
Hỏi có kinh nghiệm cái tay.
At moment of hearing, is there sanya?
Dạ có ạ.
Yes, there is.
At moment of seeing, is there sanya?
Dạ có ạ.
Yes, there is sanya.
Is it right?
Dạ thưa phải ạ. Tại vì tưởng nó sẽ cho con biết rằng là cái khoảnh khắc đây là có âm thanh này là của bà.
Yes, because I know the sound is your voice.
At moment of hearing, there is sanya as well. Does sanya experience the sound?
Dạ thưa tưởng thì không kinh nghiệm âm thanh à. Có.
I think the sanya not experience the sound.
At moment of seeing, what does sanya do? At moment of seeing, what does sanya do? It's there, right?
Dạ, nó ghi dấu lại nó đánh dấu lại đối tượng.
It's mark and remember the object.
So now, no doubt, anytime there is moment of experiencing an object, there must be sanya performing the function of marks and remembers that particular object, the same object which citta experiences. Is that right?
Ví dụ mình các nghe thấy là nó đều có tưởng đánh dấu ở đó. Ý bà hỏi vậy đúng không? Dạ thưa phải ạ. Dạ thưa có.
Yes.
And where is panya? Vinyana.
Dạ con không thấy nó ở đâu ạ. Thức không hiểu. Tâm mà. Là trong khoảnh khắc kinh nghiệm đối tượng. Dạ nó ngay tại đây à.
It's at the moment of experience the object.
Okay. So is it no one at moment of seeing?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ajahn.
So what understands that? That at moment of seeing there is no one. It's only a reality which is conditioned, arising, and see. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Và cái hiểu hay còn gọi là trí.
Yes, it's a panya. Understand that.
So now, no doubt about panya. It's right understanding of the truth of what is there. Little by little. If someone say there's no sanya at all at moment of seeing, is that right?
Dạ thưa không ạ.
No, Ajahn.
That is panya, which understand the truth. That's right. No doubt about what is panya. It understands the truth, little by little, as it is. Is that while one is sleeping?
Dạ thưa không ạ. Cái đó là con suy xét theo những gì được học chứ con vẫn không biết ở đoạn đó.
I understand from the hearing the teaching.
While one is fast asleep, is there sanya?
Theo được học thì nó vẫn có nhưng mà không chắc chắn. Theo được học thì con vẫn biết có nhưng mà con không chắc
As
chắn.
I heard that there is a sanya, but I'm not sure about this.
So can panya not sure?
Dạ không.
No, Ajahn.
That's right. Right understanding, understand correctly, and understand the truth, the ultimate truth. When there is, I'm not sure, it's not panya. Is it real at that moment? Not sure.
Dạ có.
Yes, Ajahn.
What is it?
Dạ nó là một pháp không phải là con.
It's the Dhamma, it's not me, Ajahn.
Chối liền.
All are Dhammas. What Dhamma is there? Not sure.
Dạ thưa là đó là vô minh ạ. Hoài nghi.
Is it real?
Bạn Hằng nói vô minh đi.
It's a doubt, Ajahn.
Is it real?
Dạ nó là thật ạ.
It's real, Ajahn.
Is it a reality?
Dạ, nó là một pháp á.
Yes, it is.
What kind of reality is it?
Không biết.
Is it Dhamma?
Không bất kỳ.
Is doubt a Dhamma? Or
Dạ
is
phải
it
á. Hoài nghi là
Yes.
một pháp á.
It's a reality.
Is it Sanya?
Nó cũng là một tưởng. Hoài nghi. Không biết, cái chỗ này không biết.
Sorry, I'm not sure about this.
Hai cái tính chất đã khác nhau.
About the question or about what?
About which it is sanya or not sanya.
Yeah. So what is Sanya?
Dạ, tưởng là đánh dấu và hoài nghi thì nó lại không biết về cái thực tại ạ. Tưởng là một tính chất đánh dấu, nhưng mà hoài nghi thì nó đã không biết về các thực tại và nó đang
Sanya can remember the object, but the doubt is doesn't know about the reality.
So is doubt Sanya?
Dạ thưa không ạ.
No, Ajahn.
What is it? Is it you?
Dạ thưa không ạ.
No, it's not me, Ajahn.
So what is it?
Nó là một pháp, nó là một tính chất ngay cái thời điểm nó sinh khởi thôi ạ.
It's a reality and it has a characteristic at the moment it's there.
Okay, does it experience an object?
Hoài nghi thì là không biết, cái chỗ này không biết cái thưa bạn.
Sorry, I don't know, Ajahn.
It's there, it's real. Does it experience an object?
Nào đó nó là thật. Không lẽ cái sự hoài nghi cũng là một kinh nghiệm mà?
Yes, Ajahn.
Cảm ơn chị Cú.
Chị tham gia một chút.
Who answered?
Mr. Lan, she answered yes.
And what about the one who asked about doubt? What is the answer?
Vậy là hoài nghi nó cũng kinh nghiệm một đối tượng. Nó một tính chất tâm kinh nghiệm một đối tượng. Dạ con. Hoài nghi nó là cũng là một tâm. Nó còn một là sự kinh nghiệm. Tâm sở à?
It's experience the object, Ajahn.
What is the object?
Đối tượng của nó là một cái pháp được không hiểu ngay chỗ đó. Một tính chất của pháp không được hiểu ngay chỗ đó.
The object is not understanding at that moment.
Object, not doubt. Dhamma can be studied when there is careful considering.
Yes. Dạ. Thì em cũng nói là một cái là một pháp được không hiểu ở chỗ đó. Đối tượng của nó là thì một cái đó mình không hiểu, một cái đối tượng ở chỗ đó.
Just to clarify one point, because I think it came up when you were talking about sanya also. So we discussed before that sanya arises with every citta. Is that correct?
Dạ phải à.
Yes.
Yes.
It marks and remembers the object at every moment in life. So in deep sleep, does sanya arise?
Có hồi nãy.
Yes, I think yes. There is.
Every moment in life means it arises with every chitta in life. In deep sleep, it has to arise with the bhavanga chittas every moment. And the chitta seekers like sanya or panya or doubt, they have to experience exactly the same object that the chitta experiences. So at a moment of seeing, when seeing consciousness arises, what is the object of sanya?
Đối tượng khi đó là cái bóng của tâm để lại hả?
Cảm giác của cái thấy.
Cảm giác của thấy. Màu hả? Dạ. Dạ.
What does it mark and remember? So the marking and the remembering is the characteristic of sanya. It's not the object. When the sanya arises with seeing consciousness, what is the object of the sanya?
Dạ, đối tượng của tưởng khi đó là nó sẽ lấy lại cái bóng ảnh của tâm thấy ngay chỗ đó.
It's a nimitta of seeing.
It's a very long answer for the object of the sanya that arises with seeing is exactly the same as the object of the seeing. So it's the visible object, the color that is seen. The object of the
màu sắc, yes, yes.
concentration that arises at that moment is visible object, exactly the same. At the moment of hearing, the sanya that arises with hearing, the object is sound, the same object as the chitta it accompanies. So when doubt arises, it arises with the chitta which thinks, for example, is this right, is that wrong, that the thinking thinks about. So the object of the doubt is exactly the same as the object of the chitta at that moment. When panya arises, the object of panya, what is understood, is the same as the object of the chitta it accompanies. So, for example, now if there is thinking about hardness and panya arises, the object is the hardness or the nimitta of the hardness that is thought about. So the object is always the same as the object of that the chitta experiences at that moment. Because we've just ran out of time, I just wanted to clarify that point, because I think when we were talking about sanya, there was some misunderstanding. Object is just the same as the chitta it arises with. Okay, I think
Thank you,
we
Sarah.
can continue
Thank you,
next
Sarah.
time.
Thank you, John and Sarah.